Hello, and
Hello,
oh, you can hear me. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I think everybody else is on mute. Okay, so what we're going to do then, everybody, is we are going to go through what is start of our professional network training. And as you'll probably have heard of it before, it was called our rolling program. But this has been designed in such a way that it will improve the skills and, of course, get you into position to really start and continue with your forever career much quicker. Now, the whole purpose of this is very much an interactive concept, that there's lots of things that we will go through, lots of things that we can discuss. But actually, you know what? The concept of getting to a position on the marketing plan is really very simple. And we will go through those throughout the next 6 weeks. One of the important things, as well, as you can see from the latter statement on this welcome page, is that we will start developing you as leaders. And that's really important. What I want you to do this evening is think of yourself already as a leader. A leader only needs one person in their team, but once you've got that one person, you have to lead with confidence, with belief, with enthusiasm, with passion. And that's what we'll help you to do as we go along on this particular course. Now, as always, I think it's absolutely paramount that pens and paper are always at the ready, because something that I learned, really at the start of my career was that, be a really fantastic student, be somebody that makes copious notes. And with those notes, make sure you go back and reflect upon them and put them into action. That's a really important part. Sometimes we find people in our industry who are fantastic attending all the trainings, great at making notes, but they never put them into action. So please make sure pens and paper are there and make copious notes. Now, as we go through, this is really very important to share. Our commitment to you. My commitment to you, as always, is to ensure that you succeed and fulfill those dreams and fulfill those goals that you've got on your list. But it will really be focused training. This isn't the time to be blasé with anything. It's not the time to waste time. This is where we focus on what we need to get the job done. We'll also be sharing our experiences of things that we do, which is very important because you will get homeworks. Important to say also, and I'm like this full stop, I'll never ask anybody to do something I can't do myself or won't do myself. I think that's probably more important. So all of the things that you see this evening, I've done, I continue to do, and I know certainly that they work. Also, I want us to think about the commitment that there's going to be recognition and prizes as we go along. And fun. Sometimes it really is understated. I think never in my teaching job description did I ever see the word fun. However, this is an opportunity for you to learn while you earn. And, it's a case of and earn while you learn. But it's one of those things that everything is here for you and it's what you're going to take from it. There might just be one nugget that you hear differently this evening or over the next few weeks that you might have heard the same thing before, but it's just the way it's being phrased or what's being said that'll be really important. Now, I'm not going to mess around with this one iota because I know the people this evening want to get to manager. They want to have that freedom. They want the £2,000 per month income. So you've got to ensure you've got that mentality of doing whatever it takes. That means that for you to continue with us, you've got to do the activity that is given to you at the end of every training. You've also got to think about this plan, do, review. In other words, plan out your 7 days, do your 7 days activity and review it. Review what's worked for you. Review what's, slightly needs tweaking. Are you in alignment with what you're doing to the goals that you have set yourself? Plan, do, review is always very important. You can wave goodbye to that comfort zone. that we all live in a comfort zone to start off with. And one of the things about this business is that actually already straight away when people sign up on the dotted line, it will stretch us. It will get us to exit it because, you know, comfort zone is just comfortable. It doesn't have any, I suppose, excitement to it. It doesn't have any, element of busting boundaries. It's a case of, you know what, just leave it behind. If it haven't served you up until today, in all those years that you've been on this planet, then maybe that's a hint that it's not going to serve you in the future. One of the things I will certainly say to everybody as we go through today is please make sure you subscribe to the QLS online. That's absolutely paramount. And you will find that a lot of the resources that we're going to talk about through this evening are going to be on there. So that's really important. And the other thing about your commitment, you know, embrace everything. Embrace what we're doing. Embrace the change. Embrace the learning. Embrace the fact that you're going to be going through the marketing plan, and make sure you're committing to that manager plan. Because really, you know, manager is where it all really opens up for you. It's where we access the chairman's bonus, the global rally, the earned incentives, etc. So it really is a very pivotal point on your forever career. I think one of the things that I also want to ensure that we do over the next few weeks is get into our mindset about being a professional networker. You know, long gone are the days where people have, with all due respect, what do we call it, Tupperware parties or anything like that. Just make sure that you have that mindset that you are a professional networker. So if someone actually says to you, you know, what do you do? Well, actually, I work in the equestrian environment, but I'm also a professional networker. Oh, interesting. What do you do? Well, actually, my background is in the hotel and hospitality industry, but I'm also a professional networker. Interesting. What do you do? Well, actually, my background is in teaching, but I'm also a professional networker. And it's really, really important that you treat your business with that professionalism. If you want hobby money, a couple of £100 over the next 6 months, then treat your business like a hobby. But I know full well that all of you on the call this evening don't want that. You want a career. You want financial freedom. You want in 3 to 5 years' time never to work again. So treat your business accordingly. Now, what we're going to do this evening, we're going to look through the following points here. The mindset is pivotal. And I openly say to everybody, you know, this business really is 80% mindset, 20% learning your trade. People that you might see that walk along the stage and have, you know, become successful in forever, it's not luck. It's not great timing. It's actually because they've worked on their mindset. They really, really have. And I would say that the reason that we're going back to basics here with this group is because you haven't worked on your mindset enough. You haven't taken that opportunity to probably 30 minutes per day to work on you. No one else is going to work on you apart from you. So you've got to make sure that you make that conscious decision and that time to do that. Also, understanding network marketing. You know, it's a phenomenal industry that makes more millionaires, believe it or not, than any other industry. So understand your trade, and that's what we're going to look at. The 8 steps to success, you know, these are really important points, and actually your goals, your dreams and ambitions. And what I'd say to you here is, what are you really prepared to work for? If something makes you feel uncomfortable, pay attention to it. If it makes you feel uncomfortable to go and do, you know, chat to a stranger, pay attention to it, because that's your, you know, that's your key, that's your sort of alarm going off, that that's the area that you've got to stretch. But what are you prepared to work for? You can't have any excuses with this business. You've got to see that the fact is you want to be successful, and everything here is put in place for you to be successful. But you can't have the distractions. And what I'd say to you this evening is to start off with any training, get your phone off, get Facebook off. Make sure that this is the only single thing that's on your screen. Give it your 100% focused attention. And as I said previously, because all it will take will be one comment that can make the difference to you. So make sure you're focused. And I'm open and honest when I say, you know what, this information simply is too important to miss. It really, really is. So let's look at point 1 then, developing your mindset. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to internalise this question to yourself. Did you join Forever to be successful? Or did you join Forever to give it a go? I'm going to let you think about that. Did you join to be successful, or did you join to simply give it a go? And what I'm also going to say to you is, if you join to give it a go, then I'm going to save you some time, some heartache, by saying it won't work for you. Because that's a little bit like saying, I'm trying to get fit. Well, you are or you aren't. It's a little bit like saying, I'm trying to breathe. Well, you are or you aren't. So think about that mindset straight away. Have you joined Forever to be successful? Because to give it a go, I'm sharing with you now, it won't work. And that all ties in with this attitude of, are you prepared to do whatever it takes to, encompass and embrace being uncomfortable, putting yourself out there with, elements that you've never done before. And I would also say to you, that idea here that success begins in the mind, it really does. Because you ask all the great leaders in Forever and actually network marketing and even across the world, they'd already succeeded, they'd already got there, they'd already achieved the things they wanted to achieve before they'd even started. It's almost like saying it was a done deal. It was already done. So you've got to have that success in your mind. Are you willing to embrace change? I'll guarantee you won't be the same within this business when you embrace it, because a lot of this business is to do with personal development. You're going to be successful, and let's be honest, but you don't know how long that's going to take. But if you've got that idea that you're willing to embrace that change, you're willing to pay the price for it, then you will be successful. And of course, that goes on to say, what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice the fact that it's your birthday? Because, I can be really brutal about this because I've seen it, I've done it, I've been there. But are you willing to say, actually, I'm not going to celebrate my birthday because it's a success weekend, but I'll celebrate it the following weekend? What are you prepared to give up? Because trust me, if you actually gave up your birthday weekend just for that 1 year, you'd be a lot richer financially and in personal development terms the following year. And if you just gave up, a certain birthday or a certain, weekend or something for 5 years, trust me, you can have all the birthdays and all the weekends you ever want. So what are you prepared to sacrifice? Are you committed to achieve? What we think about can be really negative in the world, and sometimes you only have to, switch on the news to hear that. But we need to train ourselves. We need to train ourselves to think a certain way. Stay away from people that steal our dreams. And that can sometimes be one of the challenges when people start their business. Sometimes people can be very, very encouraging, but you know what? A lot of the time people can be very negative. And it's because they're not educated. They don't understand what we're doing. They don't get it. And that's part and parcel of our role and our job, is to educate. But you know what? Stay away from people that steal your dreams. You don't need them. You don't need them in this part of your development. So make a conscious decision to work on your attitude. Think about what you're excited about. Think about what you're prepared to sacrifice. And think about whether you are ready to make that commitment. One of the things we would say to everybody here is, a recommended reading is Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. Phenomenal book. It's a little book. It's lovely. It's lush. And it really is all about figuring out the right attitude. And as always, get yourself a book, get yourself a highlighter, read it, highlight the really important points, and then go back to it again. But you see, here it just endorses the fact you need to embrace your learning, because the more knowledge you become, the more powerful you become within this industry. And let's face it, embrace everything. We've all had lessons that we've had to learn. We've all had positive experiences. We've all had challenges in our lives. It's about simply how we embrace them and move forward with them. So that mindset is absolutely pivotal. And then look at being consistent and persistent. I am, as this evening, as I said, I'm going to be quite brutally honest when it comes to a lot of points this evening. But the reason, genuinely, why some of you have not progressed in your forever careers as you have, well, maybe should have done according to your own plan, is because you may not have been consistent or persistent. And with that, it means consistently and persistently using the products yourself, retailing the products, and recruiting people into your business. Now, the hope of this training is not only to give you all the nuggets to get you started, but it's also to tell you that don't even bother going into the pitfalls. It's to actually save you time. But if you're somebody that thinks that you can message 30 people on a Monday and then not do anything else for another 3 weeks and then do another blitz, I'll tell you now, it won't work. You won't be successful at doing that. The whole point is for you to be consistent and persistent. So if working on your 3 to 5 people, if you're part-time, or 6 to 10 people if you're full-time in the business, it's that consistent approach with prospecting that will build you a consistent business. You've got to remember that the company it doesn't ask anything of us. It really doesn't. If you want to just create your own income by using the product and buying anything in for anybody else, that's fine. The company's okay with that. But of course, if you want to access your team leading bonuses, then you need to be 4 case credit minimum. And what I really openly say to people is don't be one of those people that just goes 4.001 per month. That success really, as we've coached before, is, do 5 and coach 5. But really, when you've got yourself your established business, aim for 6 to 8 to 10 case credits a month, because I will assure you it will give you a really solid business. Attend the trainings and the events. I cannot stress this enough to you. I find that people sometimes go, well, I can do that one because it fits in with my social diary, or I can do that one because I might feel like doing that. Again, you've got to ensure that you attend all the trainings and events. I'm delighted that most of you here this evening will be at the 20th of March. That will be an incredible training for you with Jane Leach, John Curtis, and some of the top leaders in Forever that are in the QLS group, which is the group led by Jane and John. And that's at Cheltenham Racecourse. You will be blown away from that. One thing that you need to make sure is in your diary is the 4th and 5th of June, the Success Weekend. These things should be in your diary at the start of the year. These things are not to be missed. Irrelevant of any other commitment or any other idea of where you need to be. This is your job. This is your weekend in the office. And if you're in a paid job and somebody said to you, you've got to go on a course for 2 days, you know what? It's amazing how quickly your plans would change. You've got to treat your business as a business and attend all. You'll also find that there's dates on the team page with all the company head office run events for the nutrition training, the fit training, the beauty training. Also, there's a free training on the accounting, but also using your Forever magazine every single month. Finding out when your network skills trainings are, finding out when your masterclasses are, and again using Facebook to the absolute maximum with that. Finding out when your BPs are, because your BP is part of your training and event. You should be going to a BP every single week. That is your night for the hour in the office. No excuses whatsoever. So that is where attending all the trainings and events are really important. Focus on your goals. You know, when people sometimes get caught up in the immediate response to this, but your first, 90 days, if you like, within your business is where you're creating your new disciplines. It's where you put your work down, and it's where you work to a plan and you monitor a plan. It's where your habit forming period occurs. But you've got to be committed to doing your activity on a daily basis. Again, if you plan, you do, and you review. Let's say you've got no results. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. If you've done your plan and you've done your work and you've reviewed it and there's no results, I'm all right with that. Don't concern yourself with the absolute immediacy of results, because I will guarantee you it's the consistency and that compound effect that will get you to where you want to go and need to go. So let go of the outcome. Results will come if you are doing your activity. I will absolutely promise you that. And that's why I say to you, never, ever, ever give up. With the events, don't deny yourself the results or that life that you want, because it's the trainings that you'll find. Again, it will be a nugget which is said to you, which will blow your mind. The events, the building blocks, you absolutely need to be there. You need to have a desire with your goals. This is an absolute phenomenal business model, but never, ever, ever quit. It really is not an option. If you underpin that, I'm not going to quit, with that sense of urgency, then you will be successful. Urgency is, don't be trying to faff around getting to supervisor in 2 years' time. Have the urgency that you need to do it now. You need to have those things in life now. Whether it be the finances to move out of the parents' home, whether it be the finances to be out of debt, whether it be the finances to move career, whatever it will be, have that urgency that you will do it now. And don't ever let go of that urgency. And what I'd also say to you here is another recommended reading for you, which I know some of you have personally read, Go Pro by Eric Worre. It is a phenomenal book. It really, really is. It lays out all about network marketing. It lays out how to approach people. It lays out what's really important for other people to hear. It talks about prospecting. It talks about delivering your business. It talks about following up. It talks about leading and coaching. There are so many phenomenal aspects, and it's such an easy read. It really is. So please make sure that if you haven't read that yet, you're going to read it. Okay, so understanding network marketing. I think this is a really phenomenal way of stating it. I really do. I'm not one to read from PowerPoints, but I'm going to read it on this system here. What is network marketing? Well, it's empowering a team of people to achieve their goals while sharing a product or service they are passionate about. And I think that really sums it all up. Because if you think about what you do, you might have your own goals, you might have your own dreams in place, but you're passionate about a product or service, but actually you're passionate about other people having the dreams and the goals fulfilled that they have. And this is where it really comes into the fact of us being educators. And Eric Worre is phenomenal at saying this. Simply, we are here, we are in the place as business owners to simply educate other people. So we market the products. The first thing really is absolutely vital is that you are using the products yourself. Again, I'm going to be really blunt and say most of you don't use enough of the products. Well, you don't use a wide enough range of the products. You're probably using maybe a drinking gel, you might use a deodorant, but you're probably washing your hair in somebody else's brand. In the same way that you're probably taking, a supplement that's come from another leading high street manufacturer. Most people don't use enough of the products. And when they say wide enough range, we're really talking about, are you using the MPD to do your washing up, to wash the car, to put in the dishwasher, to wash your clothes, to wash the dog, to wash the floor, to wash the windows, to wash down the tops of the kitchen counters, etc. And I wonder how many products really, if you think about it, if you opened up underneath your kitchen cabinets, how many products you've got to cater for all of those things. And yet actually forever produce a very environmentally friendly, biodegradable product that does all of those things. So are you using enough? Most aren't. And are you using a wide enough product? Remember, the products we use tend to be the ones we market. So if you're having trouble bringing in customers of regular gel drinkers, I'll be honest and say to you, look at yourself. It might be the fact if you're not regularly drinking at least 60 ml a day, every day, of those drinking gels, then you are not going to bring those people into your market. So think about the products that you use tend to be the ones you market. If you're not drinking the gel, you're not going to bring gel drinkers in. Also, the fact that we market the opportunity, and I think that really goes for itself. We coach others to do the same, except at this point now and from this point forward, that you will have to coach. You will be a coach when people come into your team. So take responsibility for that. Don't, fret about it or think, is it going to happen? Is it not? It will happen. So accept that you will be a coach from this day forward. And think about the fact that the more actions, the more competent you become. You can offer people these choices, but you've got to become competent yourself before you offer them. But how do you do it? It's by practice. Do you think the first person I spoke to on a cold market, I delivered the most amazing pitch? Absolutely not. But the more you do it, the more competent that you become. And I also think really for all of you here this evening, it's really important for you to understand, every single one of us started at day one. Every single one of us came from a background that thought, I haven't got a clue about business. I don't really have an idea about aloe vera. I've just got this box. What the hell do I do with it? We all started from day one. So please don't forget that when you think about, where we are and how we're coaching you. I think the other thing that sometimes isn't really taken to its full extreme is the fact we really do have a global opportunity. As it says there, it's a business without borders. We can liaise with countries, we can do business with other people internationally in over 150 countries, and yet actually more and more even today are becoming accessible. So we really do have a truly global presence. One of the things it says on there as well about registering for qlsonline.net, if you haven't done so, it's a fantastic website. £7 a month. You get a recruiting website on there. You'll also get a 4-minute video link if you don't feel that you are at a stage yet in which you want to do your own. You get online recorded business presentations, you get testimonial videos, you get training pods, you get your shop, and you also get other recordings from really significant trainings. So it really is a fantastic investment for you to do. You can have it set up on your phone, and that's important because then you can have it sent if somebody talks to you or you happen to do a little bit of contact marketing with somebody. Maybe you're in a shop or maybe you're out on the street and you just get chatting. You say, you know what, I can send you a 4-minute video now. I've got it on my phone. Just let me know your email address and I can pop that over to you immediately. Again, that's really instant. You're not wasting any time, but probably more importantly is that you've got your contacts information. Now, what we think about here is I suppose, ultimately the benefits to network marketing. I'm not going to go through all of these at all. I think most of them here are very self-explanatory. But one of the questions I want to ask you is, what do you feel that you're worth? Think about the job situation you have now. Excuse me. Think about what you're paid. Think about the fact that somebody determines your salary every single week or every single month. And when you think about the benefits of network marketing, there really is completely an unlimited income. I'll ask you, what are you willing to work for? What income do you want? Do you want consistent pay rises? No, what do you want? I ask you, are you really earning the income now that will give you the lifestyle you want? So if you think you've been in a job that you're in now, I'm not sure how long you've been in it, but if you say continue doing that for the next 10 years, will you be any better off? Will you be earning the income that you really want? Will you be earning the income that you really worth and desire? Now, I don't want to answer your question for you, but I'm probably pretty sure that most of you would say absolutely not. You'd still be paid the same amount, give or take tax and inflation and national insurance contributions, but you'll probably be expected to do more, work more, be stressed more, work harder, not smarter, and sell your devil to the soul. Sell your devil to the soul. I'm not going to change that. My nan always said, if you screwed something up, don't change it, it's bad luck. But really, think about what it is that you want. Because I'll be honest with you, at the end of the day, Forever is probably the only vehicle that will give you those things that you really, really want. 3 to 5 years, and you can be financially independent. We talk about the 40-year cycle. Well, that means that you're working from the age of 20 to 60, but that's no longer relevant. Because really, if people are working from, 18, some people now can't even afford to retire full stop. So are we really looking at the 50-year cycle and more? So think about 3 to 5 years, you can have financial independence. And this isn't just about people of your age, but this is remembering the fact, a lot of people work those 40 years and they look to retirement, but they can't afford to retire. They don't have the pension. Their savings are poor. And they have to literally continue around that rat race, around that circle and that hamster wheel that they've done all of their lives. So what I think for you is to have that mindset that even if you work twice as hard, they wouldn't give you twice the income. Even if you work twice as hard, you bet your bottom dollar, your employers wouldn't pay you double the amount. And that's the state of the economy today. What I want you to think about is that you've got your hands on the idea that Forever can shortcut this. Shortcut your 40 years to 3 to 5 years to live the life that you want. Not working for somebody else, not somebody else determining what your bonus is or deciding what your wage is or deciding whether you attend work that day or not. Simply Forever shortens that route. So with all those basics in place, what I want to go through now is I want to go through the 8 simple steps to success. I cannot stress enough to you that there are 8 and they are simple. And if you master these, if you become competent at them, you can simply have anything on offer within this business. The aim is to learn them. The aim is to teach them to your team. And if you learn them well and coach them well, you can have 6-figure incomes. You can leave jobs, you can travel, you can have multiple homes, you can have no debt. But you know what? Ultimately, you can be happy and content with your part in life. As I said to you, it's about the simple things. It's about the basics and doing them well. I think sometimes people very much overcomplicate this business. They think they've got to be more sophisticated and technical with things, but you really haven't. You've just got to learn the simple things well. And this is the whole point here about going back to basics this evening. It's as simple with network marketing. The more you do, the more you earn. So if you're only doing the bare minimum and not doing your 4 case credits a month, then obviously that's going to be reflected on the amount of bonus that you get. But the more you work, the more that you learn, and the more that you do, the more you earn. And it's interesting because there's there's so many different testimonials out there. I'll just give you one of them actually, of a lawyer, Philo, and she actually trained as a lawyer. It took her 5 years to train as a lawyer in London. And what she wanted to do was, of course, become a full-time junior lawyer. She got her job in a practice in London. And for the first 12 months of that practice, she started with Forever. And what she was doing was simply looking at her business every single day, having come away from the law firm. Doing her day's work, she was doing her business. And every single day she was doing that. Very much part-time, but she was doing that. And after that 1 year, she actually had a choice. Because she was earning more on a part-time basis with Forever than she was in her full-time role as a junior lawyer. Only simply because she mastered the 8 steps to success, and she did them with consistency and persistency. And it really is as simple as that. Remember, with this, you'll learn even the things when they don't go right. And that's absolutely paramount. Something won't go right for you within this business. You might, bugger up what you're supposed to say. You might get a bit tongue-tied, but it's about learning from it. It's about saying, you know what, that was a challenge. It was a learning experience. What can I do now that will help me on my way? So, pens at the ready. I should have been making lots of notes already, but let's go through these 8 steps to success. The first one, without a shadow of a doubt, is the who do you know list. You cannot start your business if you don't have a who do you know list. Now, in today's day and age, and bearing in mind when I first started my business, I think I had around about 20 people on my list, which was shocking. But what I had done, which sometimes people do, is they'd written down the list, names of people on their list that they wanted to ask about the business. They didn't write everybody. I didn't write down family. I didn't write down friends. I didn't write down anybody that I thought would take me for being stupid or not take me professionally or not take me seriously. I wrote down a few people that, well, they'll be good at this. Well, to say they're good at it isn't good enough. We've got to come from that sense of contribution and think, what is it that we can help someone with? Can we help them with the products? Have they got a challenge with their health? Do they need more energy? Do they need an element of help with their mobility? Or is there somebody that's facing redundancy? Is there somebody that hates their job? Is there somebody that's struggling for money? Who do you know? And with today's technology, such as the social media apps that are shown there, really we should have around about 300 to 1,000 people on our Who Do I Know list. And even if you just downloaded your Facebook data, your LinkedIn data, your Instagram data, your Twitter data, your WhatsApp data, then you'll find that probably even just those, you've probably got over 1,000 people. So a comprehensive who do you know list is important. What I say to you really is this evening is if you have not done this exercise seriously, don't go on to any other step. Get this done. Be open-minded with who you put on there, and don't judge anybody when they go on there. Don't make the decision for them. Oh no, they won't want this. Oh no, I think they'll, oh no, forget it. It simply asks you, who do you know? And that is the most important part to this. Who do you know? So your first point to success is to ensure that you have, categorically have, a fundamental who do you know list. Step 2 of this simple cycle. Step 2 is to simply contact. And already this is the notion and the wheel of this business. Who do you know? Contact, invite them, business presentation, train, etc. But step 2 is contact. As we say, as always, contact somebody using the forum and the platform that you would normally contact them via. So if you're somebody that normally would text somebody, text them. If you tend to sort of WhatsApp somebody, WhatsApp them. Don't do something which is unusual to them or different to them. TTP means talk to people. It's something probably you don't do. You talk to people on a daily basis, but you probably don't talk to them about the business. What I say to you with, contact, learn how to make a good phone call. And what I'm going to be doing, and this will put you all on your toes a little bit, is I'm going to be randomly speaking to people over the next week. And I'm going to be a little bit of a mystery shopper. I'm going to call you and I'm going to say to you, hi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do? Just seen an advert for you. What do you do? Tell me a little bit more about it. And you know what? That's crucial, because I bet you bottom dollar you're not prepared for that answer. Learn how to make a good phone call. We've had plenty of scripts in the past and we'll share some of those with you. But I would say to you, core essence of a really good phone call is have an objective in mind. Know what it is that you want to get out of the call. But please, please, please make sure you come from that sense of contribution and care about the person that you're contacting. You can be excited or you can be naive. And that means that is why preparing and learning is so important. Be excited about the opportunity that you've got when you contact, but don't be naive. Learn your trade well. Be professional. And one of the things that I think I always learned from the early days with me was think how you come across. If you actually in front of yourself, if you prospected you, if you phoned you, what would you say? Would you say no or yes to yourself? And that's why really working on this is really very important. Develop that interest in someone else more than yourself. Always go into things and thinking what we can do for somebody else. But, go through these in more detail as you go through the journey. You'll learn what to say to people when you're talking to them. You'll learn the different contact methods, but you'll also learn they're really empowering. And it is nerve-wracking when you're talking to a stranger for the very first time. I used to just have the mindset, actually, they're never probably going to see me again, so I'm not really worried about it, if I get this wrong. If I don't get it wrong, well, brilliant, I'm going to see them and it's okay. So think about how you portray yourself. Remember, there are people around us every single day. And most of them want an extra income, or they want the pressure taken off them in their lives, or they want a little bit of, oh, please just give me a break from all this. You will be surprised. So your role, once you've conquered your who do you know list, is learn how to contact. The third step is if someone says to you, send me some information, what do you do? Well, this is simple. You either send them the more full minute video link, which, as I said to you, is on the QLS group. You can do one yourself, or you set up a one-to-one. The whole point, as always, is to develop that relationship and also to share your story. That's something that I would say to everybody, consistently work on. Work on your story. Work on who we are, what we do. Work on how it's, paid dividends for you or why you got involved, what were your background. Think about what's in it for them and also create that killer story. And it really will open doors for you if you learn how to do it and you learn your trade. Then step 4, and I don't think I've actually shared with anybody so far in the first 4 steps anything that you don't already know. It's about becoming good at them. That's the key. So step 4 is thinking about the business presentation. When somebody's been on your Who Do You Know list and you've contacted them and they've wanted a little bit of information and then they've said, yeah, actually, I do want to know more. Think about how you use your business presentation. Remember, the BP will show them the true potential of how to get to their journey, how to get to the place that they want, and how also, of course, to get them to join. There is a 40-minute professionally recorded BP for the website, but you can do one from home, you can go to a venue, you can choose one online. But what's important through this point here is that you understand how to use the tools. Watch, attend, learn. Go to your local BPs. Watch what happens. Listen to what's said. Learn how something is presented. And then you can apply it to your own business. And that's why I say the BPs are simply learning your trade. It's your opportunity to have that night in the office to know exactly what it is that you need to do. And you should be learning how to do them. You know, in the very early days, I remember, sitting in my own lounge, having a little flip chart with all the BP that was printed out and stuck onto each page. No one was in there. No one was in my front room, apart from me and the dogs. But I did a business presentation every single week to the dogs because it's how I learned how to master my trade. Excuse me, let me just have a quick drink of water. There's only ultimately 3 presentations that you need to master. The one-to-one, the business presentation, and the planning presentation. Learn them, become awesome at them, and that way you will catapult your business. Step 5, questions. Sometimes people are a little bit worried about this, but you know what? Questions aren't always bad. You'll be asked questions. No doubt you're asked questions at the end of a business presentation or at the end of a one-to-one, or if somebody says to you, what is it? What I say to you all is get good at answering them as well as asking them. Alan Pease is a great author with his wife. Questions are the answers. He wrote a whole book on it. And it's really interesting because, when I work with people and I do my own prospecting, do my own one-to-ones and business presentation, I simply always answer a question with a question. Get good at learning how to answer questions. Share your story. Build the relationships. At the end of the BP, learn how to show, what it is that they've listened to, but what you need to say. Because at the end of a business presentation, when it's all done and over, I will turn to my prospects and say, literally, exciting, isn't it? Which bit did you love the most? I don't turn around and go, okay, so what do you think? Because if you turn around and say, what do you think? Well, you're opening yourself up to a nice little can of worms, possibly. But always, 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 fantastic, wasn't it? Exciting, wasn't it? What did you like the best? What did you like the most? Which bit really appealed to you? And this is where you do your homework on your prospects. If somebody, for example, loves travel, and at the end of the BP, when they've looked at all the international travel, turn to them and say, exciting, isn't it? It's fab, isn't it? So which part of the travel did you love the most? And be really, passionate about it. Have that conviction. I also say, at the end of the day, when you're looking at questions, you might want to say this at the end of a one-to-one. But when you come to close something, let's say there's been a presentation, I'm open to say these following words. And they are, now that you can see that working closely with me, you can, and you might want to insert here, it could be, you can see how you can travel the world, or you can see how you can get rid of your debt, can't you? and then shut up. Learn how to ask the questions. Can you see now how this can pay for your child's education? And shush. And I think sometimes when people think about this business with questions, they get a question, they're too frightened by the question, they feel as if they have to say everything including Rex Mourn's inside leg measurement, and they lose the concept of it altogether. Learn how to develop answering a question with a question, because you know what? Questions are great. Embrace them. Don't ever be frightened of saying to somebody you don't know the answer. You'll find out and you'll follow them up. I actually think that's wonderful. I really do. I think it shows integrity. I think it shows that you don't want to fib. It shows that you might be new to the company, but that's lush because you're showing that great integrity. Be honest all the time. Say to someone you don't know the answer. Say that was a fantastic question, but I'll come back to you in 24 hours when I can find the answer. Think about it. Don't be frightened of questions. And then step 6 is the pre-planning. So this is where you've taken everybody else through that cycle. You've registered them into the business and now you pre-plan them. And one of the things that you all watched as part of your homework this evening was from the QLS online, there is now one email that you send that gives everybody 5 pre-planning videos. They're all there in one go. I cannot stress to you how easy this QLS online site is for recording and monitoring and being in touch with your prospects and your team. It's absolutely phenomenal. Now, what we do here with the pre-planning is we send them those pods, we book in the planning meeting, ideally 24, 48 hours after they've registered, and it's important that they come fully prepared. Fully prepared to that meeting so that you can get a lot done. Now, I'm going to give you a hint here. This is a business. And as I said to you all this evening, I was starting bang on 5:15. I'm not going to deviate or wait for anybody. This is a business. You wouldn't be late to a dental appointment or a doctor's appointment or an appointment for a job interview. And this is the same here. Don't be frightened that if somebody has not come fully prepared for your planning meeting, change it. Don't waste your time. You've got to be really, have that mental concept that this is a business that you run. People wouldn't be late to an appointment in the business world. If their employer said to them, I want you to go away and present something and you need to come to the office on Monday morning with all the facts, they'll do it because it's their income stream. So make sure they come fully prepared. Now the pre-planning section, that's easy. It's all done for you. Just make sure that they are there. Step 7, the planning itself. Now where you can, do obviously the planning meeting face to face. But that's not always possible because obviously we're a global company now. People will live the length and breadth of the UK as well as globally. But this here is a planning meeting. I wonder how many of you really honestly have your first steps to manager fully filled in. Have you really read through it? Have you read through it that you know, for example, what your goals are, what your personal goals are, your business goals are, your family goals are? Have you read it through where you understand the key steps? Have you understood how it is that the opportunity works? Use that planning manual to your full advantage. And really, the planning meeting is the penultimate step. Because step 8 is simply developing a manager plan. That is your first key step on your career. Really sincerely, forget supervisor. They're just going to be a little part on the way. Forget assistant manager. You should be looking now at straight away getting to manager. When you get to manager, it really seems that in one sense you've served your apprenticeship. You've learnt the basics of what you need to do. You're on around about £2,000 a month as an extra income. But of course, for some, that's a healthy second income whilst alongside a full-time role. So the manager position is absolutely pivotal. Now what's really interesting here is that you want to create these successes fast. I can't tell you any other way, but you know what? That's it. If you spend the time properly on your who do you know list, you contact them succinctly, you give them the initial information, you invite them to a BP, you answer their questions, you give them the pre-planning, you plan with them to become manager. That simply is the simplicity of building your business. That's it. You need to build on it. The 8 steps are simply driven by your vision and your goals. Now, when we think about things like goals, we have to think about these 2 words here, needs and wants. Needs tend to be those things that need to happen quickly. Wants tend to be the things that are further on down the line. It's like saying most people might want a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, but at the present moment in time, what they need is food on the table and to keep a roof over their head. So they are 2 completely different things. You think what has to happen immediately and then underpin it with the longer term goals. So let's just work through that. Maybe the longer term goal is to own your own home outright, no mortgage, nothing. But what you need to do now is you need to pay off the debt that you're in, or you need to replace the income, or you need to have that additional extra income. So what you need to have is that picture of that longer term 3 to 5 year goal to stimulate what you're doing now. And that helps you through the tough days. Helps you through the days when somebody says no. But what's interesting is that you must write them down. Don't fear something you don't understand. You know, it's interesting, but when I first did my goal book, you do feel a little bit silly cutting up pictures, especially when people in your household actually say to you what you're doing. It's difficult to understand. Oh, I'm just putting a goal book together. And, you know, even if they don't do it, you can sense the sniggers and the, oh, my life, what's she wasting her time for with that? But don't fear something that other people don't understand. Let go of it. What I'd say to you is just don't lock the door on your own goal. Get that visual image. Unlock that door. Think about what it is that you need at the present moment in time and that you want. Okay? And what's interesting is when you've had a really bad day, whether it be in your current day job, whether it be because someone said no to you in this business, whatever it might be, take a look at your board, your vision board, your vision book, whatever it might be. Take a look at it, and that will help you focus on what it is that you need to do. Think about your goal board here as being a little bit like day by day. Think about the experiences that you can tick off. It might be, as you said, that 3 to 5 year goal might be, you know, the big factor that you own your own home, there's no mortgage, you can travel the world, whatever it might be. But set yourself the smaller goals in between. Think about what's going to be the small goals that all mount up to be that huge ultimate goal. Your goals must excite you, they must challenge you, and they must emotionally move you. Please don't put a goal down where it says, actually, I want to earn £150 a month. That won't challenge anybody. But if you turn around and say, actually, I want to earn £10,000 a month, I think that might get a few of your backsides and challenge you. So think about the connection with them. Think about that emotional connectivity that if you don't achieve it, what will be the downfall? What will be the issue? How will life be like? But you've got to ensure that you choose those goals that inspire you. But ultimately, you've got to find the ones that you are prepared to truly work for. Focus on around about 2 to 3 goals. Not 7, 8, 9, 10 millions of them. It doesn't matter. 2 to 3 goals. Maybe the ones that you initially need. Connect with that goal every day. Look at that board every day. Emotionally connect with that board every day and think, hell yeah, this is what I'm doing my business for. You've got to embrace it. And again, as I say time and time again, you've got to ensure that you have that mentality that you're going to do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Your goals must, as we said, excite you, they must challenge you, they must be measurable. So you've got to count back and think, right, what is it that you need to achieve on the bigger scale and how are you going to do that, counting it down. They've got to certainly emotionally move you. But truly identify with this, commit to it, and embrace the change that your goals are asking you to do. And if you don't have the right goal, it's okay. Just dig deep. Because you know what? I went through this business for so many years. Even though I replaced my income, I didn't know why I was doing the business. I replaced my income and then I plateaued because I didn't have a why. I didn't understand it. But isn't it amazing how just in the last really 18 months, with Ella passing and creating a charity, of how my true why really occurred. And that's to go back to something we said earlier. Let all lessons, experiences, challenges, let them be part and parcel of you developing. Maybe they are points in life that, that they happen and they're to point you in the right direction. Maybe these things happen to guide you. Maybe these things weren't meant to happen. I don't know. It depends what your philosophy is. But you know what? If it's not the right goal for you, if it doesn't move you, it doesn't get you up in the morning, if it doesn't make you stay awake at night, if it doesn't make you cry at times with excitement, but also a little bit of fear, find that right goal for you. And you'll know why. You'll know when that why appears. And when you know that why, that how will become really, really easy. You won't worry about picking up the phone. You couldn't give two hoots if someone says no to you. And as I openly shared with a few of you, I only have to look around my office and look at a couple of pictures every single day. And those pictures kick my butt to do what I need to do because I won't let them down. And think about that when it comes to your family. If you're working for your children or you're working for your future family, don't ever let them down. Make sure you have that philosophy that you will do whatever it takes. You will never let them down. You've got to think about goal setting though. It is an alien concept for a lot of people. They've never done it before. Their bosses are the ones that tend to set the goals. They're the ones that tell them their targets. They're the ones that tell them what they've got to do. But what's really quite alarming is that around about 90% of people haven't got a 5-year plan for themselves or their families. They really haven't. They're just living, if you like, pay slip to pay slip, bank account to bank account, month in, month out. They've got more month than money. And they don't have that plan or that goal. Which makes you think sometimes this business really is about being comfortable with getting uncomfortable. Let go of the restrictions. Start the process. Make those connections. And put your business into momentum. Think here what's important to you. What are you really committed towards? Are you committed towards hobby money or are you committed towards having an absolute life-changing business? And it's a key question for everybody. Will you do whatever it takes? Will you do the fact that, let's say I might find a training or do something and I might drop it on you at the last minute? And really ideally you were thinking, just tired, I want a nice early night. Will you turn around and go, actually, no, I'm going to stay up for the half an hour because I need to do this in order to develop my business and develop myself? Am I going to invest in myself? How will it make you feel when you achieve those things you want to achieve? Think about, buying your own home for cash. How is that going to feel when you get those keys? And you put that key into that front door and you step in and it's yours. No one can ever take that away from you. No one in this world. But ultimately, I suppose what that does is it asks you what has got to change. Is it your mindset? Is it your rationale to business? Is it your commitment? Is it your routine? Is it the fact that you haven't got that routine throughout the day, that you're not contacting your 3 to 5 or 6 to 10 people? Because it's interesting here is that, new FBOs can put so much effort into admin and preparation They can have a beautiful tidy desk. They can have the neatest of files. But you know what? They stumble because they don't know what to say or they don't know what to do. And that's for you to learn. And that's for you to understand where we are with everything. So really, as we come towards a close of this, make sure that why becomes clear. And as we said before, when that why becomes clear, your how really seriously becomes so easy. So the final part of tonight is putting your business into momentum. If you register on the QLS online, you will find that in the middle section of the page, it will actually say download sheets, etc. And these are the ones that you need. These are the ones I couldn't actually save and post to you. So you need to go onto these. And as part of your homework, and we'll see this on the last slide in a minute, is that we're going to get your business into momentum. And one of the things that you're going to look at now is marketing your product to the first 12 to 20 trial customers. Now, when we say trial customers, this is your immediate hot market. Please make a note, this is family and close friends. This isn't somebody that you may know of as an acquaintance on Facebook. This is somebody that you know really very well and who will support you. Now, what's happened here is that you will find that there's a sheet which talks about trial customers, so you can download that and you can register and record their names on there, and obviously then follow up and record the process. But there is actually a fantastic text message that you can send to people. There are other sheets also on the other screens as you go through, but there are packs that have been put together because at the end of the day, let's face it, people have phones on them all the time. And one of the texts simply says, can I ask you a quick favour? And what you do is you send the text. If the text come back and said, yes, of course, you can be really creative. You can respond straight away. But there is actually a word-for-word dialogue on there for you to use. Do not deviate away from it. There is a dialogue. I've got mine here. If you're talking about business, hey, how are you? I've just started a new, really exciting business with the potential to make £2,000 to £4,000 a month. If I send you a 4-minute video, would you take a look at it? It may not be for you, but I think you would love it. That's just one of the examples when it comes to the business. Now, when it comes to the products, which is, of course, what this one here is trialing, is there have been some packs, which is on the other sheet, that have been made up. And it relates to how you're going to message people. As we said before, the first message might be, can I ask you a favour? If they come back and said yes, you simply do not change the wording of these. The reply would be, I'm really excited to have started a great home-based business, but I need help. I have an amazing range of natural products that are great for health and well-being. What I need is 20 trial customers over the next 30 days who will give me true feedback so I can build a successful marketing campaign. Here's how you can help. I need you to buy a trial pack just once and use it for 30 days and then give me your honest feedback. If you don't like it, you never have to buy again. But if you do, I can get you a special customer price for life. Can I count on you to be one of my 20, please? And the packs, as I said, are put together. But you need to be aware that you can only use that with your immediate hot market of friends and close friends and family. So what I ask everybody to do is download those sheets, read through them, and then when you've messaged your first 25 text messages, you will find ultimately that you will have your first 2 team members. Because really, when you're new to the business and you're starting your business, it really is roughly it's more sort of 1 to 12, I suppose, in one sense, where people will join you. So think about that. Work the list, and then everything is there for you. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks is certainly sit and helping you with making your first few calls But on this instance, it's just text messages. So 25 text messages from you to people that are in your immediate family and, of course, your very close friend. Make it relevant. So, have a chat with them to start off with, see how they are, see how they're doing. But ultimately, personalise it. But what you're really saying is, if I gave you the info, would you take a look? And again, that's a very much an Eric Worre thing. If, would. If I asked you to turn up to a business presentation, would you? If I arranged a one-to-one to share with the business, would you be able to make it? So if and would. But honestly, this trial customer concept, when you download it, it really is giving people an absolute flying start. So you might want to take a picture of this screen this evening. It's entirely up to you. But one of the things that you certainly need to do is your homework. If you have not registered with the QLS Online, you need to do so straight away. You need to set up your personal recruiting site through that. And that's very easy. You just go into your accounts and it shares everything with you. You download your Flying Start documents, which are documents that you saw on the previous pages. You start developing your 20 trial customers. You can also start making sure that you're building a team, 5 to 10 messages a day, and there are 3 variants on those downloaded sheets of the messages that you can send. You need to read Attitude is Everything and go pro without fail. And if these things aren't done from one week to the next, you won't progress onto the next week, because there's no point wasting your time with this unless you're absolutely committed to this, getting to manager in the next few months. Create your vision and write your goals down. You need to write your goals down. And of course, then create your dream board and your dream book. I think one of the things just to end on is, network marketing for me is a phenomenal industry. It really is. It's not the only way that people can do business. It's not the only way that makes money go round in the world. But I will guarantee you it's a better way. So get these things done. Be proactive. And what I'm also going to ask you to do on our page is I'm going to ask you please to post a picture of your dream boards, post a picture of your extensive Who Do You Know lists, post a picture of the books that you're reading, post a picture of your planning manual. I wonder how many of you really have filled in that business, that personal, that family sense to your planning manual, and post on the page. What I will do is I'll get in contact to see when is going to be convenient to do week 2. It will be next Sunday at the earliest, because I do believe that you do need a week to get through everything here. But don't falter, don't fail on it. You're not, any of you are not quitting this business. You're not quitting your hopes and your dreams in the future for your family. This is just the beginning. You know the dates that should be in your diary. Please ensure that you've got them. The final thing that I will say is that previously we did look at January to December folders. We looked at 1 to 31 folders. When you're planning on who you're messaging, from this week onwards, put them behind the relevant dates on your folder and make sure that you keep a track of them. And if they come back and say, no, it's not for me, but contact me in a few months, then pop them into the May section of your folder. Just remember, this business is simple. It does not need to be overcomplicated. Even the administration sense of it does not need to be overcomplicated whatsoever. So I ask you, first of all, say thank you indeed for paying attention, for being involved. I hope you've got loads out of this evening. I really, really do. And I hope you've made copious notes. Learn how to do the basics well. That really is my genuine thought to you all. Hope you all have a great week. Any queries that you've got, any success stories, which I'm sure there'll be loads, pop them over to me. I'm absolutely really wanting to hear from you and hear about them. So have a great week, everybody. Hope you've really enjoyed that, and take care. Bye, lovelies.